Tonight we have a very special show because it's an important moment. I've enlisted the three Americans for the hour: right, left, and really rich. The question of what to do abroad, what the law says, and what is being ignored here at home while we fixate on the Iranian regime. Bill O'Reilly, Democratic strategist James Carville, and the best-dressed man on television, Stephen A. Smith. Good to have each and all. I know you take that part hard, James, but you go to the LSU garb a little too often for me to make it your distinction. Let me start with you, Bill O'Reilly. We are told the president is weighing. What do you hear and understand about the variables?
I don't hear much. I did text him, and he did not answer. It's unusual. So what we have here is a conundrum. And Trump knows that if he launches military action, there are unintended consequences that will stem from that. But he doesn't know what those consequences are. The bluster about Iran attacking and doing damage, they're finished. My column on BillO'Reilly.com is the mullahs are done. They just don't know it yet. I think they may know it now. But I think the most important thing for Americans to consider is what is the right thing to do? We're being diverted by the usual dog and pony cliche on this isolationist versus evangelical Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, but it doesn't mean anything. What's the right thing to do? That's what all Americans should be asking right now. Doesn't matter who's president. So the right thing to do is to protect America first. That's the right thing to do. And then the second level of that is our ally, Israel, is in danger. And our enemy, Iran, is defiant. So I think we've given Iran an ultimatum. I know President Trump has. And I think that we keep that ultimatum. Because you're not talking about boots on the ground. You're not talking about an invasion. You're talking about bombing their nuclear capacity to dust.
Right.
Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. So let's just keep it very, very focused rather than all of these ridiculous diversions, many of which are used to make money, which really angers me.
100%, especially when it comes to digital media. I mean, everybody's pushing agendas that are outrage-based because that's how you get the clicks. James, let me ask you something. The Democrats here and Republicans in Congress, why are they skipping over the question of who is supposed to make this decision when it comes to the American military? I just heard on the last show a Republican member saying, well, if it goes on long enough, then he has to come to us. That is not the law.
Yeah, you know, War Powers Act, people will interpret it a different way. Presidents generally interpret that they have freedom that I tend to agree with it, that they don't have. But I'd like to point out one thing that's missing here. This problem was solved. It was solved by President Obama. There were inspectors on the ground. We knew that they didn't have any nuclear weapons and they didn't have the capacity. Then President Trump, in his first term, pulled us out of the agreement. And now, Tulsi Gabbard said in March that they're not close to a nuclear weapon. Who are we believing? I'm not saying they do or they don't. Are we believing governments that after the whole Iraq war, are we just taking the government's word that this is there? I mean, not only should Congress be involved, we should have congressional hearings before we fall off and start a war with a nation of 92 million people, of which half have a college education and half of those are females. There are 12,000 Iranian students in the United States. 6,000 are studying engineering at our universities. We better think about this, and we better think about where we're going from here, because we're not giving it very much thought. And I agree with you, Chris, that Congress ought to sit here, hold hearings, said how much of a threat is this? They can do that in 72 hours if they wanted to.
Stephen A.,
what no unquestioning into this? I don't think so.
Stephen A., what do you see in this dynamic?
Well, let me just say this. I'm pretty pissed off because I'm listening to James Carville right now, and I'm listening to Bill O'Reilly, and I have no question about their knowledge or anything. I'm not ticked off at them. I'm just saying that when James Carville sits up there and says this problem was solved, well, that's not the interpretation that we've received since Trump was in office the first go round. When we talk about our leadership being in place, you know, these guys are the experts. These guys know what the hell they're talking about. I'm a newbie to all of this, all right? I'm just an American citizen that votes, all right? And I'm paying attention to what's going on. So what's happening here? We have a situation where you've got Iran, there was supposed to be a nuclear threat. We have folks in the Jewish community where they're quoting Netanyahu from 2011 to 2014 to 2015 to 2018 saying the same thing he's saying now. And they're saying, well, what is true? We're looking at Obama. And just like, you know, when they talked about moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, that's what Trump did, even though George W. Bush, even though Obama obviously did not elect to do such a thing. So clearly, Trump is seen as being a bit more friendly to the Jewish community, to the state of Israel, than Obama or Biden or even George W. Bush was. So when James Carville comes and he says, okay, this was solved, you have other people saying it wasn't solved. I'm not saying James Carville is wrong. He might be absolutely right. But how the hell are we supposed to know? We're relying on our government officials. And here you are, Chris, you're hosting this show. And what are you talking about here? Who's going to make the decision? What? Who's going to make the decision? Who's the president of the United States? Who's the commander-in-chief? And oh, by the way, you've got, whether it's GOP or liberal members in Congress, in the Senate, these are our government officials that are supposed to be making the decision. And now you're telling me there's a whole bunch of people that's scared to make a damn decision. Well, how are the American people supposed to feel right now? I mean, we're sitting on the outside looking and relying on the level of expertise from these individuals, hoping their souls are in the right place and they're doing what's in the best interest of this country and this world. And here we are on the outside looking in, and what we're being told by experts like Carville, like Bill O'Reilly and others, is that there's trouble in making a decision. Well, by whom? Why? And when is that going to be alleviated? And if it can't be alleviated, how the hell are we supposed to feel good about the state of our country and its affairs right now? What the hell are we supposed to think?
I got you. I like the question. Hold on, Bill. I'll give you the answer as soon as we come back from break. Let me take the commercial break. We'll come right back. Bill O'Reilly will answer the question of whom are we supposed to trust in this moment? Who should be doing the job? What should we believe? 4 minutes and 35 seconds. The three Americans, right, left, and really rich. Next. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.